from the same country that once enslaved and colonized us, now comes a travel ban. 25 African nations, no hearings, no justice, just judgment. This isn't just policy, it's a punchline to a cruel joke. America, the so-called beacon of freedom, is now building walls against the descendants of those it once dragged in chains. The irony is staggering. They built their nation on African backs and now want to lock the door and erase us from the story. The US, a nation of immigrants, now tells half a continent, "You are not welcome." This isn't a subtle shift. It's a slammed door, a message that our history and future are irrelevant. The Statue of Liberty might as well hold a no vacancy sign for us. The hypocrisy is breathtaking. A selective morality, rules rewritten by prejudice. This ban, signed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio under Trump, is more than paperwork. It's a continuation of a centuries-old narrative. First, they took our people. Then, our resources. Now, our movement and participation in the global community. It's a power play disguised as security, built on old-world bigotry. The world watches, and the message is clear. Promises of partnership ring hollow. This ban isn't a shield. It's a weapon to isolate Africa. It exposes America's insecurity, not its strength. After all the talk of freedom, the gatekeepers are still afraid of who might walk through the door, especially if their skin is brown. To grasp the weight of this ban, look back at the brutal transatlantic slave trade, Africans forced to America not by choice, but by violence. After slavery, colonialism and Cold War games kept Africa under Western control, with America extracting resources and destabilizing democracies. Aid came with strings, and human rights lectures rang hollow as the US armed dictators. Now, the travel ban feels like the next chapter in a long book of dominance, blaming the victims, flexing power, and keeping Africa at the bottom. The official reasons, security risks, unreliable documents, visa overstays, sound reasonable until you look closer. The US sets vague standards, impossible deadlines, and moves the goalposts at will. It's like demanding a house be built in a week, then blaming the builder for failure. Visa. Overstay stats are weaponized, ignoring why people migrate: opportunity, safety, a better life. Many contribute to America, but their stories are reduced to numbers. This is a smokescreen, a PR move to legitimize discrimination. It's not about paperwork, it's about politics and prejudice. The language of security is just a cover for xenophobia. Compare this ban to how the US treats other countries, and the hypocrisy is clear. European nations with higher visa overstay rates aren't banned. No ultimatums, no shaming. The rules are selectively enforced, creating a global caste system. An African passport is devalued, not because of objective criteria, but because of prejudice. The real motivation? Racial and economic anxieties, fear of demographic change, and a desire to keep America from changing. The ban targets black and brown people, echoing past racist rhetoric. It's not about who Africans are, but who some Americans fear becoming. The rules are tools of power, not justice. America's talk of partnership is exposed as conditional and self-serving. The world sees the double standard, and America's credibility as a global leader suffers. This policy reveals deep-seated biases. The hypocrisy is impossible to ignore. Beyond politics, this ban devastates real lives. Tourism collapses, local guides, small businesses, and entire communities lose their livelihoods. Economies are crippled, families pushed into poverty, progress undone. Students' dreams of studying in America vanish. Professionals lose opportunities. Families are split apart. These aren't statistics. They're stories of heartbreak and stolen futures. The policy is indiscriminate, painting entire nations with the same fearful brush. It punishes the innocent, assuming guilt by geography, a blunt instrument for a nuanced issue. The collateral damage is immense, all from a single signature in Washington. The US preaches partnership, but this ban exposes the hypocrisy. How can you claim to be a partner while treating half a continent as a threat? The ban is a unilateral decree. No consultation, no dialogue, just command. Partnership is welcome, but only on American terms. This approach alienates key allies, undermines cooperation, and breeds resentment. Why cooperate on security with a nation that brands your citizens as undesirable? The policy burns bridges, not builds them. Other powers like China and Russia watch and step in, offering partnership without the lectures. America damages its own influence, creating openings for rivals. In trying to project strength, it reveals its own weakness. African governments face an impossible choice: comply with US demands and sacrifice pride, or defy and risk economic pain. Compliance means accepting America as judge and jury, reinforcing a neo-colonial dynamic. Defiance means standing up for dignity, but risking further isolation. The African Union has condemned the ban, but unity comes with risks. Each nation must weigh sovereignty against survival. The dilemma itself is an indictment of the policy. Washington has forced Africa into a corner. Every choice feels like a loss. In crisis, there's opportunity. This ban is a wake-up call. Africa must look inward, not to the West, for validation and partnership. It's time to accelerate intra-African trade, break colonial barriers, and build visa-free regimes across the continent. Let's invest in each other. Tourism, business, and culture. A Ghanaian family discovering Zanzibar, a Senegalese student exploring Ethiopia. This is the future. Shared frustration can become shared infrastructure and identity. The ban could spark a renaissance of African self-reliance. It's a painful lesson, but a necessary one for true independence. A line has been drawn, not by us, but for us. America chooses isolation and fear, but our story is defined by our response. This is not a moment of despair, but awakening. The ban exposes hypocrisy, double standards, and the urgent need for a new African path. It's time to build our own tables, strengthen our own bonds. Africa's future will be decided in African cities by African people. We have the resources, the talent, and now the clarity. The insult of this ban can fuel our greatest chapter, unity and self-determination. We will not be defined by their bans, but by our resilience and innovation. We will rise on our own terms. The old order is crumbling, a new one is waiting to be born. This is Insight Africa, where truth is louder than power.